Welcome to the Calgary Home Advisor Team channel, your go-to source for the latest insights, expert advice, and up-to-date information on Calgary's dynamic real estate market. Whether you're buying, selling, or simply staying informed, we're here to guide you every step of the way.
Welcome to the Calgary Home Advisor Team channel. I'm Richard, and we're going to talk about new builds. Well, of course, this question is very dependent on what's happening in the market. If it's a seller's market, it means basically that prices will be increasing over time, and therefore it's in the interest of the buyer to get into the new home before it's constructed, because by the time it's up and running, the price of that house might be a lot higher. Also, one never really knows how much construction material will cost in the future, and at least this locks in prices for the time being. On the other hand, though, if it's a buyer's market, builders will start to unload in the future, and it might be prudent to wait a little bit. But in general, I think it's always a good idea to get into the house market before it's built, as long as you have trust in the builder, because other factors are really important too, such as having your pick of finishings and colors and appliances, and making it your own home before it's complete. Well, picking the community is really important. If you like inner city life, it makes having a lot of amenities already in place, established neighborhoods, trees, parks, and such. Going to an outside community means that you have to wait for everything. Amenities such as schools, and in a lot of cases it means buses for kids to go to school. Being on the outside, though, allows for cheaper lots, so house prices are generally a lot cheaper purchasing outside of the inner city. The downside of builders who build in the suburbs or new communities is, while they might have a good track record, there's also office costs and general overhead that contributes to the cost of the house, not just the building itself. So those add extra costs. When you buy from the inner city, it's definitely more expensive because the lots are a lot more expensive, but it usually means custom homes by a builder who might not only do a few homes a year, and the good side is they don't have a lot of overhead. So to cover costs, however, it's custom. So it's generally more expensive, but it also gives you more variety and less sort of the cookie cutter type of home. The new builder warranty programs, generally 1 year for labor and materials, 2 years for delivery and distribution systems, 5 years for building envelope protection, and 10 years if it's a 10-year program for major structural components. More specifically, the home warranty program has several tiers. The first tier, the first year, covers everything and anything that could go wrong with the house. And that's the responsibility of the builder to do anything from a window seal to a leaking faucet to something that just didn't get done right. The second year is delivery systems such as heating ducts, water distribution, or anything that moves through the inner system of the home. Most warranties now are 5 years, and they cover everything on the exterior from the home to the foundation to the exterior applications such as roof, hardy board, windows, rain gutters, everything and anything that won't last properly within that 5-year period that needs to be replaced under the 5-year warranty. There are more expensive 10-year warranties that extend the warranty on the outer shell of the home. However, it's likely that if anything's going to go wrong, it will in the first 5 years. One has to consider one difference between a house and purchasing another big-ticket item like a car. The land value always goes up over time between cycles, and therefore what you're buying is two things, a house and the land. So when we get into a seller's market and the economy is good, land value expedites in price. That obviously adds a cost to the building of a home. And the other thing, of course, recently since post-COVID happened was the cost of purchasing new items like windows, and of course waiting for them adds to costs, including bank costs, having service people sit on the sidelines while waiting for delivery. There's also extras that are imposed on building now, such as radon elimination and general high-end efficiency windows, heating units, cooling systems, etc., which will all add to the cost that didn't happen decades ago. And finally, we're in high interest rates. The cost of borrowing and insurance costs for a builder are much higher than they used to be and add to the final cost of a house. These stricter rules on demolition also are adding to the cost, because if there's a substantial amount of asbestos, tarping is required to cover the entire home when they're taking the home apart or removing the asbestos, and that really can add costs up to $30,000 on a single home. Well, that depends on at what point in time prior to the completion of the home you step in. Generally, the finishings happen within a month or 6 weeks of completion of a home, but a lot of finishings have to be pre-ordered, so it's wise to get on that as quickly as possible. Structurally, you can ask for changes if you agreed to purchase the home 5 to 6 months before it's actually built. They still can change walls, room sizes, and things like that. But if you get into the house within the first 6 weeks periods of completion, you can ask for a few changes, including paint color, backsplash, the kind of cabinets and countertops you want, lighting and faucet fixtures, flooring, even specifics like shelving and carpet. Some things are more dependent on how busy the general market is, because lighting fixtures and cabinets might take longer to order, construct, and deliver to the home if you're in a busy seller's market. So the weeks that I mentioned might be a lot longer in that type of market. So in conclusion, it depends on how much you want to make the home yours. Get in as soon as you can if you see a lot or a neighborhood where there's a builder that's working in, and find out what exactly they're planning on building and see what possibly you can add to the home prior to its completion.